core thesis of the big reset is that every 60, 70 years, we need a big change in the international monetary system. And we had one in Bretton Woods in 1944. We had a smaller one in 1971 when they took the dollar off the gold standard. And this is a topic Jim Rickards also talked a lot about this, and he wrote a lot about this. I learned quite a bit from him about monetary resets in the past. And that's why I came to the conclusion around 2014, I published The Big Reset, that around 2020, the imbalances of the current system would be that large that there would be a lot of problems, and we would reach a point that we had to solve three major problems. We would need to find a new anchor for world's financial system, so successor for the dollar. Well, if you read the speeches of Mark Carney, who used to be the governor of the Bank of England, he spoke about this during his Jackson Hole famous lunch speech in 2019, that we need to find a successor for the dollar. So that's official. You know, they're working on this, but this being worked on behind the screens because you can't discuss this in public. So finding a new anchor, that's the most important thing. Hasn't been completed yet, but we know they're discussing it, you know, because they have spoken about this in public. The other one is debt restructurings. We need debt restructurings. Look at the national debt of the US, just crossed 30 trillion. We were at 10 trillion 20 years ago, 22 years ago. So this is going parabolic. This is unsustainable. So we need to have a debt restructuring. But for a debt restructuring, you need a Bretton Woods type of conference. Well, the IMF came out with a story in 2020 that it's time for a new Bretton Woods conference. They call it the Bretton Woods moment. We haven't heard anything back from the IMF, but we know they're working on it because they said that's a new Bretton Woods moment. We also had a speech by the Secretary General of the United Nations who said because of COVID, we learned about the deficiencies of the international monetary system, and we should have this international conference every 2 years about the monetary system. We should change it all. We had the World Economic Forum publishing their great reset, telling us we need to change everything because of COVID, we have problems everywhere and we need to build new systems. So we have all these indications, but coming back to my thesis, we need to find a new anchor, we need debt restructurings, and I think we need a dollar devaluation, and a dollar devaluation is a gold revaluation. And I think that's the one which is the most interesting one for our listeners, for our audience. Because if you invest in silver, for all reasons, fundamental or technical or whatever, there's one main reason to invest in silver, because if we get this dollar devaluation like we had in the 1930s, we get a gold and a silver revaluation. Mm-hmm. And that could be a very sudden shock. And it would be a kind of situations, you got to be in it to win it. If you're not in silver, if you're not in gold, and we'll get this reset, once this COMEX system breaks down, and it's not if, but only when this breaks down, you'll see $100 silver within a week. And when you have this sudden move of markets, and we know in precious metals, this can be very sudden moves. People are too scared to buy into the rally because it has gone up already 30-40% in 2 days. And also, if you want to buy physical, and we've experienced this in 2011 in Europe and also last year or 2020, March 2020, you can't buy any physical silver because that's such a small market. So they won't take any new orders. If you want to play these themes, and silver will go up for fundamental reasons only, you know. We've had a production deficit since the 1970s. Actually, in 1965, President Johnson went on national TV to explain why we would get rid of silver coins, because there was a shortage developing. That's 60 years ago. We had a production deficit almost every year. Mm-hmm. So a shortage of silver is guaranteed. But it has taken so long that a lot of people doubt it. If you look at the technical reasons why silver would rise, we've seen $50 silver in 1980. We've seen it again in 2011. Silver is the only metal trading at 50% discount to its 1980 top. It's the only metal. But I always bought silver because I for the last 20 years, I've been sure that one day we get this big move. And I was in the big move in 2010 and 2011. And actually, I made a lot of money because I also bought silver futures during that move. So at that time, we all thought this is the move. This is the move we've all been waiting for. And now it will never get back to 10 or 20. But that happened, you know. They took control of the silver market again. And the next time they'll lose control, it will be an even more violent move, because the move in 2010, 2011 was a move of 14-15 months. I can't remember exactly. But the next move can be in a few weeks.